What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the MC Show. It is your boy MC. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any and all hope would be greatly appreciated. Share this video with your friends, family, even complete strangers. Like that, it's not wrong if to talk to strangers and be like, here, watch the MC Show. You know, I know your mom and your dad told you not to talk to strangers. This is the one time where it's allowed. Okay, and if you're a podcast listener, leave a review. 5-star rating or 4-star rating. I'm not here to like force you to do a 5-star rating. I'm just saying that's like the best option to do. You know what I'm saying? But leave a review, leave a rating wherever you get your podcast from. Today, Thursday, I want to talk about the first couple days of the season and whatnot. However, there was a bombshell. There was a scandal that was dropped upon us this morning. A betting scandal, an illegal betting scandal that featured 34 people, 3 of them being Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, and Damon Jones. All 3 were arrested this morning in part of a big FBI investigation into illegal betting and gambling. So that's what we're going to start off with today before we get to the fun basketball stuff, because the NBA is here. Okay? So, as I said, Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones were all arrested today. We're going to start off with Terry Rozier. They're all connected, but they're all a little bit different. So we're just going to go through each person's, what they're accused of. Because this not like they're full-blown criminals for sure. But this is what they are being accused of. Rozier is being charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud, as well as conspiracy to commit money laundering. He has been under investigation for about a year now, for a game in March 2023 when he was on the Charlotte Hornets. They're saying that him and his childhood friend conspired for Rozier, who I believe was playing the New Orleans Pelicans at the time, for him to bet all the unders because Rozier was going to take himself out the game. If you look at that game, Rozier played about 8 minutes left in the first quarter, did not return. And so his childhood friend, who he conspired with, was able to bet all the unders, about $13,000, and was able to get out $200,000 off of, obviously winning all these bets. There was a report in July, I have it quoted here from an article, professional bettor placed 30 wagers in 46 minutes involving Rozier. So if you're the betting company, they're already looking at that, like they're flagging that for weirdness. 30 bets, 30 wagers, I should say, in 46 minutes involving Rozier is obviously a huge red flag on their part. They see that, and Terry Rozier has been under investigation ever since. Him and his childhood friend, they say in their documents, I should say, that after gaining the $200,000, they met at Rozier's house the week later and counted out all the money. Now Rozier has stated his innocence. His lawyer, paraphrasing here, he had a lengthy statement, basically saying he looks forward to fighting the charge. He feels like the FBI tried to embarrass him because the NBA actually didn't know that he was getting arrested this morning. So he's saying they're going to fight this. Basically, they tried to embarrass him by bringing him out in handcuffs this morning out of the hotel, because Miami was playing in Orlando last night. And so he got arrested in Orlando this morning. The NBA, he also said that the NBA cleared him because the NBA obviously had their own investigation on Terry Rozier. But how credible is that investigation if the FBI are looking at this and saying, hey, he's not cleared of anything, we still think he was involved in this betting scheme? So that's the main thing with Rozier. But with Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones, theirs looks like it's is a little more serious. Billups and Jones were reportedly in league, teaming up, working with, whatever you want to call it. They were working with the mafia in order to scam people in illegal poker games, rigged poker games. Says here they were using cheating technology and illegal gambling. In Vegas, New York, Miami, victims lost $7.15 million, brothers. 7.15. $7,150,000. And this goes all the way back from 2019 to 2025. They're saying, the FBI is saying that Chauncey Billups and the mafia used technology such as X-ray tables, rigged shuffling, glasses and different eyewears in order to see opponents' cards. The Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups were the faces to get people with money or to bring them in. Fish, as the FBI called them being the face, the victims being the fish. Bring them in and basically steal their money, cheat them out of their money. And obviously the mafia, you would think that the things that you see in movies are not real, but hey, they're real. If you didn't pay up, the mafia went through violent methods in order to get the money from these people. So Chauncey Billups, who seemed like he was more of the big fish in this investigation, him and Damon Jones are accused of being the faces, working with the mafia, and cheating people out of their money in illegal poker games. Damon Jones also has another part of this investigation where I'm just going to read you a quote. Participated in a scheme to defraud the betting companies by providing, obtaining, and using non-public info relating to NBA games to place and cause others to place fraudulent sports wagers for profit and launder the proceeds therefore. That's coming from the document that the FBI released on this entire investigation. The game that the FBI is talking about was a February 9th, 2023 game where the Lakers, because at the time Damon Jones was an assistant coach with the Lakers. February 9th, 2023, a game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, there's a player 3 and a player 4 that's mentioned in the article. No names are mentioned. They just said it's a prominent NBA player, but you put context clues together, you put 2 plus 2 together, and you understand that Damon Jones was selling information about LeBron James's injury status, something that it was not for the public at the time. He's basically telling friends or family, selling out this information that hey, bet the under on this. This person isn't going to play. Player 4, I believe, was Anthony Davis. So, Anthony Davis is limited because of this injury, and selling out that information so guys can make a buck off of it. That's a lot of the main stuff from the Rozier, Billups, and Jones betting scandal. 4 crime families from the mafia. A total of 34 people were arrested when you include Jones, Billups, and Rozier. So this was a big thing, big investigation that the FBI was conducting for like 2 years. Remember, the first time you ever saw this was a problem was with Jonte Porter and him and the betting scheme. He ended up getting banned from the NBA, lifetime ban for the same thing, illegal betting and whatnot. But this was just a crazy story, man. Billups and Jones being paid by the mafia willingly being a part of this. It's not like they were coerced. That's not what the FBI is saying. They're saying like Billups and Jones willingly worked with the mafia, were getting paid by the mafia to swindle, scam these people, whatever you want to call it. Rozier is still a bad thing, but they're saying it's still a bad thing, but obviously not to the level of Billups and Jones. So that was a scandal that was dropped on us. If you want to know more information, read articles, read the documents that the FBI has stated. They had a presser this morning in Brooklyn. You could watch that as well. That's where you can get all this information from. But hey, this is a big bomb to drop. As of right now, Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier are on leave from their jobs. Tiago Splitter is the assistant head coach for the Portland Trailblazers and will be taking over for the time being. If Rozier gets, again, this is not finalized, but if Rozier gets found guilty, then the NBA could void his contract. His salary is going to completely come off the books. He might also get a lifetime ban. You never know from the NBA. Maybe the same with the Chauncey Billups. But we just don't know. I believe Terry Rozier is due back in court in December in Brooklyn, and we'll go from there. But huge bombshell to be dropped in front of us by, I think, first Pablo, the guy who exposed Kawhi Leonard. Shams as well, right after him. So we'll see, but that was the big bombshell that was dropped, and it ruined everything for all of us, because I wanted to talk about basketball today, but I can't do that because people don't want to be criminal masterminds. Okay, let's get back to the fun stuff, which is we're 2 days into the NBA season. Houston Rockets and Oklahoma City Thunder started us off on NBC. I liked NBC by the way, just in terms of the production and all that. It was fun. But the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder gave us a double overtime thriller where the Houston Rockets end up losing by 1 at the buzzer. Real quickly, box score stuff. Şengün, 39 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 threes. Durant had 23 points. Thompson had 18 points. Shea for Oklahoma City Thunder, 35, 5 and 5, 24 in fourth quarter and overtimes. Chet had 28 points. AJ Mitchell had 16 points in 15 minutes off the bench. He looked pretty good. We're going to start with the Houston Rockets before we get to Oklahoma City Thunder. You got to start off with Şengün, man. Şengün was absolutely phenomenal. Just backing down, being patient, getting into the paint, hitting these tough hook shots, these tough floaters. Also hitting 5 threes, which is one of the biggest questions for this team, is who can be consistently hitting threes. And 7 assists as well. So he was passing, he was finding guys. I mean, he was arguably the best player on the floor today. I know Shea, reigning MVP, reigning Finals MVP, and he also had a really good game. But Şengün was just absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. For the Houston Rockets as a team, however, 11 of 39 from 3, 28%. That's the biggest takeaway from this game, is the spacing looked really bad on offense. Ime Udoka decided to start a really big lineup with Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith Jr., and Steven Adams. And that lineup just had no spacing. There were so many possessions where Durant just had no space to work, no space to operate. We'll obviously get to Oklahoma City Thunder, but their defense was able to just pack the paint so much because there was no threat from the outside. I said Amen Thompson had 18 points, but he was 0 for 7 from 3. That's why the 5 threes from Şengün was a highlight, as it was a thing I had to highlight, just from the fact that somebody was able to consistently hit threes. Tari Eason came off the bench, didn't hit threes. I didn't think he had a particularly good game. Reed Shepherd, we'll get to in a little bit, hit a couple threes. Could he be the Could he be the solution? Possibly. But the spacing was bad. I thought a lot of, Durant had 23, 9 of 16 shooting. He didn't play bad. However, I felt like a lot of his jump shots were just they were so tough, because he just had no space to operate, get off clean shots. Obviously, Durant can hit tough shots because he's Kevin Durant, but no spacing around him just makes it difficult over an 82-game season. And if you're playing in the playoffs, then this team knows exactly what to do, and it's not going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? If these two teams meet in the playoffs and there's still no consistent shooting around Durant, it's still going to be an issue. There were so many possessions because the spacing was bad that the Houston Rockets played really late into the shot clock. I don't know how many times I heard "damn" buzzer when they were shooting a jump shot. It was really bad. I mean, you do have to shout them out just for keeping it a game, because they only lost by 1 point. It was 125 to 124. But the Houston's offense has to get better. They also had 22 turnovers. They did win the rebounding battle, which is, I think, why. Like, if you remember last year's team, they were 22nd in half-court offense. It wasn't good, but they were the best offensive rebounding team in the league. And a lot of times, sometimes they would just get offensive rebounds and get easy buckets off of that. But I didn't think that necessarily translated. The big lineup necessarily translated to that. They did win the rebounding battle, 52 rebounds to 38 rebounds. Houston had 16 offensive rebounds. OKC had 12 offensive rebounds. But they didn't necessarily translate into like a bunch of second chance points. They played really slow as well. They didn't get out in transition. Their defense was good. Like, we'll get to their defense. Their defense was good, but they weren't able to capitalize off of, stealing the ball like 10 times, 12 times. There weren't any spots for easy points. I think that's the biggest thing that the Houston Rockets need to figure out, is if they can try to get Amen Thompson out in transition, Jabari Smith out in transition, it can help them for real. Spacing around Durant, spacing around Şengün. Like, I think Durant and Şengün offensively could work when they're taking turns or when they're able to play off of each other, but it's gonna be hard if they don't have the space to operate. Their defense, it was good. I thought OKC was really stagnant on offense a lot. They ended up going to a zone, and I thought the zone really stagnated them a lot because they also struggled from three. I have it right here, 13 to 52, which is 25% from three. There was a lot of times where the zone was impacting them so much that they would struggle, that they would settle for threes, and not good threes, just like, hey, pass. Oh, nothing's working. Okay, I'm just not even open. I'm semi-open. So, boom, I'm just going to shoot this three. And it didn't work for them. But transitioning into Oklahoma City Thunder, you could tell, like, you really missed J-Dub. I think that's one of my biggest things for this game. Like, Shea carried them, was able to hit the free throws after Durant fouled him at the end, but I think they missed J-Dub when Shea was on the bench. Chet had a really good game. He started off the game 7 for 7. However, he's not that kind of guy to, like, put the same pressure on the rim that J-Dub does. He's not as, obviously he's a big guy, so he's not as fast. He is athletic, but he doesn't have the one-on-one speed or athleticism or bag yet in order to really punish defenses. It was the one good thing about the Houston Rockets starting so big, was just they take up so much space that all the players have plus length, plus wingspan, so they took up a lot of space out of the mid-range. Shea did get to his mid-range game, and that's how they were able to get the win. But you missed J-Dub in order to, like, just someone who's quick enough to just get to the rim, maybe even get to the free throw line. The offense did not look great when Shea was on the court. Was on the bench. So that's where they're missing J-Dub. You can see that, but they were able to come back, and they were down by 12, I want to say, in the first half at one point, but Shea, who started off a little slow in the game, was able to pick it up and just lead them to a W. The defensive side of the ball, again, we talked about, they packed the paint. They helped show them they were helping. They were recovering off of the non-shooters for Houston. So good defensive showing from both teams. Both teams really had to work offensively just to get 25 points, 124 points. But overall, good game. Both these teams' offense are going to be really interesting, especially without J-Dub for I don't even know how long. I don't even know when he's gonna come back from that wrist surgery that he had in the off season. But I'm really interested in how Oklahoma City's offense looks without J-Dub. And then Houston, I'm interested in how they can find a way to get more easy baskets with Şengün and Durant on the floor. Okay, now moving on to the Warriors and the Lakers game, where the Lakers end up losing by 10 to the Golden State Warriors. Jimmy, fantastic game, 31 points, 16 of 16 from the free throw line. Curry, 23 points, hits the dagger 3, Hield 17, JK 17. Lakers, Luka, unbelievable 43, 12, and 7 on 17 of 27 shooting. Reeves, 26 points, 9 assists as well. Starting off with the Golden State Warriors, they were hitting it from 3. 17 of 40 from 3, that's 42%. They were passing the ball great, even though they had 18 turnovers in the game. 29 assists on 38 made field goals. The ball was moving, especially more in the second half than the first half. The first half looked a little bit stagnant, but in the second half they were able to break through. I believe their biggest lead of the game was 17 points in the second half. So they were fantastic. Draymond's passing was phenomenal all game long. Rebounding, phenomenal all game long. He found Jimmy, he found Steph, anybody you could name for open shots throughout the game. I mean, Jimmy settles the team down with the free throws. It was just a phenomenal game. Jimmy really, like, the best thing about Jimmy being on this team is they have somebody that can punish mismatches. They didn't have that. Andrew Wiggins doesn't do that, you know. Not to say Andrew Wiggins is garbage. He's not. He's a good player. But Jimmy is a mismatch hunting demon. He's punishing. Even if he doesn't shoot the ball, he can get to the free throw line or he can get open passes, because if Gabe Vincent, who was the person who was switched on to Jimmy Butler a lot, if he's on him, teams are going to be like, we can't let Gabe Vincent out on the island by himself. And they're going to send a double team. And, you know, Jimmy loves to pass, even if he's open sometimes, which can be frustrating. But Jimmy is a good passer. He gets guys good shots. Curry struggled a little bit, but again, the dagger 3, they really used his gravity. JK had a great third quarter, 13 points, 3 of 3 from 3. A lot of that was just Jimmy and Jonathan Kuminga being able to get to the basket, get to the rim with Curry's gravity. Like, he doesn't have to have the ball. It's so crazy that an NBA player who doesn't have the ball is the most dangerous person on the court for the Golden State Warriors. Him just running to the 3-point line, like, gets guys open spaces all the time. Teams are gonna try to double that, so because they're so afraid of the 3. There was a possession where it was an inverted pick and roll between Jimmy and Steph Curry. Steph sets the screen. Jimmy has a wide open lane because Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves go with Steph Curry instead of sticking with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy was able to find Gary Payton, who's cutting on the baseline for an easy dump off layup. Like, it's those things like that that the team really in the second half were able to capitalize on. The Lakers defense was not good at all. We'll get to them more, but the defense was not good for the Lakers. It was good for the Warriors, however. They did struggle with Luka, obviously, 43, 12, and 7. And JK was on him a lot. JK started this game. Al Horford came off the bench. But it wasn't like... I don't think Jonathan Kuminga's defense was bad. I just think Luka is just like that good. Like, he's a special player. He's a generational player for a reason. But the defense was phenomenal. I thought, again, Draymond was phenomenal passing, rebounding, but his defense, he was everywhere. I thought even Curry's, like, there were times Luka would get switched on to Curry, but I thought Curry held his own whenever he tried to get attacked one-on-one. They forced shot clock violations. They forced 19 turnovers for the Lakers. Like, this was a complete game on both sides of the ball. Again, the offense struggled in the first half, but really got it going in the second half. And throughout the game, you saw the defense was just, it didn't really let up. Like, I know there was a stretch in the fourth quarter where the Lakers made like a fake comeback. If you're a Miami fan, you know what fake comebacks are like. They made like a fake comeback, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the defense was just absolutely phenomenal. So you got to shout out the Golden State Warriors for their performance on both sides of the floor. Moving on to the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka and Reeves combined for how many? What is that? 69 points. But Ayton, 10 points. Rui, 9 points. Smart, 9 points. Like, no LeBron until mid-November probably. Somebody got to step up and give him points. Ayton was bad. Lakers fans, let me know what you guys feel about Ayton. I already know you guys don't like him. Let me know. Let me know how much you don't like him. Phoenix didn't like him. Portland damn well didn't like him. It's already game 1 of 82 games, and you already seen that he don't like him. I will say though, just to give him a little bit of grace, I do think he needs to be have more opportunities to shoot on offense. On defense, he was basically a non-factor. But on offense, somebody's going to have to step up besides Luka, besides Reeves. They're going to have to get like 18 points or 14 points from somebody. There can't be such a big gap between 43, 26, and then 10. You know what I'm saying? Ayton does need to get more than 6, 7 shots a game. He does. Like, he's good at those 10 to 15 push shots, mid-range jump shots. Like, he's actually pretty good at those. I think the Lakers got to do a little bit more just to get him involved. I think that if you get him involved early, there's probably be a little bit more activity from him because he doesn't affect the game any other way. I feel like he might be more engaged defensively if you give him the ball offensively. Just get him like quick, easy dump offs. Like, he's not going to dunk on anybody, but again, he's really good at those 10 to 15 mid-range shots. And then you'll see better rebounding. You'll see better defensive effort. He's just one of those guys. He's one of those guys where you got to feed him in order to engage him a little bit. But the offense, again, with there being such a gap in terms of points and whatnot, the offense outside of Luka was just not great. Like, Luka got to the basket at will, I will say that. Got to the free throw line. Reeves was good, especially late in the game. He also was someone who got to the free throw line. By the way, 17 of 28 from the free throw line. That's a lot of misses. That's a lot of free points you are leaving on the board if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. You need every single point you can get. Obviously, you were able to score a lot of points between Luka and Reeves, but you could at least make your free throws. They did get to the paint. I said Luka got to the basket a lot, but as a team, 62 points in the paint. If there's one thing, if you didn't think the Golden State Warriors defense wasn't perfect, and it wasn't perfect, a lot of easy drives to the basket for the entire team, a lot of easy points in the paint for the team. Not a lot of outside shooting, 18 of 32. Sometimes it's just a math game too. Like 17 of 40 from one team, 8 of 32 from another team. It makes me question, is the shooting enough? Gabe Vincent, Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart, Rui Hachimura, like, are those guys good enough shooters, good enough spacers, good enough, even not just making the shots, attempting them? 32 threes is not a lot of threes. And Luka, the one thing about Luka is Luka gets guys so many threes, especially in the corner. So those guys are going to have to take threes. They're going to have to make threes. Because if you can't space the floor around Luka and LeBron, the offense is going to struggle and you ain't going nowhere. LeBron might have 20. Luka might have 30. But it ain't going to be pretty. So they got to attempt more threes. Guys got to lock in and start hitting open threes. And just not being afraid to pull it if they're open. The defense was probably worse than the offense, to be honest. Again, Ayton was not a presence. I thought they lost players like Golden State. You know, obviously Golden State has a lot of movement and whatnot. They lost a lot of players on cuts. Luka was obviously attacked, but I thought Luka was actually pretty good on defense. I will say that. I thought he was active, taking charges, trying to swipe the ball, force turnovers. Obviously, he's always gonna get attacked. That's just the way it is. It's like Trae Young. Trae Young is a small guard. He's always gonna get attacked. But I thought Luka like definitely showed, like, you saw he got skinny. You saw the effects of being skinny. Just better on defense, better on offense as well. So I give him credit, but they did attack him at certain points down the stretch. And to be honest, as a collective, the defense looked slow. Like, they lost players on cuts, as I said before, and they couldn't recover in time. Jonathan Kuminga obviously isn't a shooter, but you look at those threes, wide open. When you're going up against the Denver Nuggets or the Golden State Warriors, other teams that might be fast in the half court, you know, it's the defense gotta be flying around a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a good look for their defense. The offense, like, it'll look better when LeBron comes back because you have another playmaker guy who can cut. I actually want to see that more. Like, when LeBron doesn't have the ball, I want to see him get to more of his cutting bag. Like, if you watched him in Miami, Dwayne Wade has the ball, Chris Bosh has the ball, Mauro Chalmers has the ball. Like, he was doing a lot more off-ball cutting and whatnot. He got so many open layups or points in the paint just from being, like, one of the greatest athletic player in basketball history, you know. Like, get back into that a little bit. Once he comes back, it'll really help their offense. But their defense, they got to find a way to get it together. Okay, last but not least, we're just going to, mention a few players who had great games Wednesday night. We got to start with Wembanyama. What he did to the Dallas Mavericks was absolutely disgusting. 40 points, 15 of 21 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3. You want to know the craziest thing is, my one criticism of Wembanyama last year in his sophomore season was he took too many damn threes. He was too big to be taking that many threes. You are taller than everyone. You are lankier than everyone. Get in the paint and start wailing on people. Well, he must have saw my video, because my goodness, what he was doing to Anthony Davis and Derek Lively was absolutely disgusting. 2 3-point attempts and scoring 40 points. It was disgusting. And the 1 3 that he made, bro, let me describe it for you. Let me break it down for you. Wemby has a running floater. He comes back down on the other end. Derek Lively thinks, oh, listen, I'm in the paint. Let me shoot this little push shot in the paint. Wembanyama swats it to all the way to hell. And then he proceeds to walk Derek Lively down. Tween, behind the back, step back, 3 and 1. Are you absolutely kidding me? He's 8'12", and he's out here doing step back 3 and 1s. Are you kidding me? Brother, let me tell y'all something. The league is done. Okay? We are absolutely finished. Is Wembanyama's league anymore? Is Wembanyama's world? We're all just living in it. He is absolutely disgusting. I have never seen an NBA player have those highlights in my entire life. I've never seen a player cook Anthony Davis like that in my life. Actually, there's one. There's Nikola Jokic. This guy's the second. He's in his 3rd year in the league. Hakeem Olajuwon, those goddamn Shaolin monks, I don't know what you did, and I'm not sure if I should thank you or want to kill you. But my God, what they've done to that man over the summer was absolutely disgusting. What he's going to do to the league is absolutely disgusting. I am not ready for it. Wow. Absolutely incredible game. We are cooked. Ant-Man for Portland. Woo-wee. Another 40 burger. You look at that game, mid-range sniper, brother. Mid-range sniper. He added the 3-point game, the 3-point shot to his game last year. The best 3-point shooter in the league last season. Now, if he's going to be a more consistent mid-range jump shot maker, well, you know, this is going to be it for the league. He might average 30. he might just average 30 if he's going to be that efficient. He was 14 of 28 from the field. Like, he was just absolutely disgusting. Portland is like a good defensive team. They got good defensive players. He was cooking Toumani Camara, giving him business. Toumani Camara made second team all defense last year. He's a good defender, a great defender as a matter of fact, and was just giving him the business every time down the court. It was unbelievable. He took over late. They needed those buckets. He had the step back on Jeremy Grant. Then he had the step back 3 on Jeremy Grant. Then he had the sidestep long 2 with Toumani Camara guarding him. Absolutely phenomenal. Lastly, before we get out of here, Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, they win by a point against the Boston Celtics. 40 points for Maxey. Edgecombe had 34 points. Maxey, fast as hell, bro. Both of them just fast as hell, bro. Like, Maxey was, 6 of 7 from 3. He was basically getting anywhere on the court. Short mid-range, long mid-range, to the basket. I thought his defense was good as well. Just picking up where he left off. You know, last season was such an injury-riddled season. And then they obviously tanked. So you've probably all forgot about Tyrese Maxey. But Tyrese Maxey has genuinely improved as a scorer throughout the years, and he's just amazing. He's an amazing player. Philadelphia fans got to be happy because Joel Embiid did not look good at all in his debut. VJ, I mean, the ability to get to the basket was on display against the Boston Celtics. The burst, the athleticism, like, Buddy would catch and go and was at the basket in a literal flash. He's a good finisher at the rim. Him and Maxey were playing off of each other. They were tag teaming guys like they were, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence and Bad Boys. You know what I'm saying? Even like the catch and shoot threes. Shooting was going to be one of my questions for him. Can he be like a decent shooter? He showed me that he can. Catch and shoot in the corners and on the wings. Like he had that. He got that. Phenomenal between Maxey and VJ. Low key, they might not get credit for this, but they've drafted, the Philadelphia 76ers have drafted 3 really good guards for the future. Maxey, VJ, and Jared McCain, who will eventually come back, who obviously had a fantastic rookie season before the meniscus tear. Like, they've drafted really, really well. And the future looks bright for Maxey and VJ in the backcourt. I'm glad they started VJ as well. I think he deserves the starting spot at the 2 guard. So that's what we have for today, man. Good first 2 days of the season. Got a couple good games between Indiana, OKC, Golden State, and Denver tonight. Well, maybe we'll talk about that within the next few days, next time you see me. But glad the NBA is back. It's been phenomenal 2 days. NBC is doing a good job with this showcase. Can't wait for more games. Until then, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for listening and watching. If you are a podcast listener, please leave a rating, leave a review, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.